Good evening, y'all. Slinger here. And I'm just preparing me up some bullseye flakes. And I don't have them pre-prepared because this might be a lengthy video. If you don't got the time or the interest, feel free to see your way out. But someone by the name of Pater Piper asked me a very good question. And I like to give good questions the respect of my best answer. Finally, someone who can ask a good question. In my opinion, there is a such thing as a stupid question. But the question he asked was not stupid at all. So, I wish to answer it. Pater Piper had asked me, what is a pagan? And I'd like to think he was genuine in asking that question, as pagans aren't as common these days as they were before. So perhaps there's a little bit of confusion as to what a pagan is anymore, when I'm sure it was very well known what a pagan was before. And without doing any preparation on the topic, I'd like to give you my straightforward and off-the-cuff answer, and I feel like that would be the most genuine way of doing it. So, the most basic way, first, of explaining this is a pagan is a polytheistic person who believes in multiple deities. But that could oversimplify things, because there are many different types of pagan, just like there are many different types of Christian. So I can give you my version, heathenry, which I chose because that's basically what my ancestors were into. It is my belief that a true Christian is from a certain place in the world. They're not European. They're not American. And I think that's what a lot of people have confused, is there are so many spiritual paths on this planet for a reason. Our ancestors had specific spiritual paths based on the region they lived in. And I think it's important to connect to those roots, because what are you without your roots? You're a tree blowing over in the wind, in my opinion. You're just not right. That doesn't make you lesser or anything. It just, I think everyone has been misled, very skillfully misled, into abandoning their roots. So, though I was baptized as a baby who couldn't speak for himself or make choices, I grew to understand my ancestry and the old religion. And I know many say we wouldn't know anything about this old religion if it wasn't for Christian monks writing it down. And that is partially true. But from my perspective, there's still a lot there that isn't from them. And the basis of this comes from ancient standing stones, which were carved in runes and then deciphered. And to go deeper into what is specifically a Norse pagan or a heathen, well, we have many gods. You all have heard of Odin and Thor. And if you've done any reading on them, they have very human traits. They argue, they bicker, they make mistakes. They're not infallible. There are stories of Odin getting too drunk and regretting sleeping with certain women. So, like us, they make mistakes, but that's what our pantheon is about. Learning from mistakes, learning in general, in order to accurately and, basically have any sort of actual knowledge of this old religion. It requires you to do some homework. And some is an understatement. You have to dig through piles and piles to find what is the most accurate representation, in your opinion, basically. And that's why there are different types of Norse pagans. There's Asatru, there's heathens, there's Odinists, there's all sorts. And they all have a different representation of what the old religion was. So, quite simply, a pagan is a person who embraces their roots, seeks their old spiritual path of their ancestors, and believes that people had certain spiritual paths from different locations on the planet for a reason. These spiritual paths, they're very, very sacred. They're very old. And I basically, I don't know an awful lot of Christians that are from that location. They're not Hebrew, or they're not, Israeli, or whatever wherever this originated from. And I think that is something that kind of shows, in humanity nowadays, is the different sects of Christianity. They're arguing amongst each other and only taking breaks to argue with the Muslims or the Jews or even the pagans, But I think there's a lot of hidden genetic knowledge in all of us that we could attain if we would embrace our roots and go back to them. And just so everyone's aware, paganism never went away. Never went away. It diminished for sure, but there's more and more people going back to it now. And my personal brand of heathenry or Norse paganism is very metaphorical. I don't see the gods as literal entities. They're metaphors. They're different attributes, different archetypes, there's different things you can learn from different types of gods, or the ideas of one. And it's all about, for especially Norse pagan, it's about tribe, it's about kindred. It's you'll find that a lot in other types of paganism too. It's tribal. That's what humans are at their core. They're tribal. Even nowadays, we all separate ourselves and go towards the people that are more like us. You know, that's what we do. Inadvertently, naturally, that's what we do. So, you know, to kind of summarize it, a pagan, you know, in general, is a polytheistic person who embraces the natural world around them and really seeks to go back to the roots of their bloodlines. And that's what I've chosen to do. And it's pulled me out of a very low, crappy place in life where that Roman Catholic upbringing had diminished me severely. And if, you know, being a Catholic or a Christian is right for you and it works for you, I by all means don't discourage you from doing it. Because the gods of the old religion, they don't want your worship. Then they've never done anything to deserve it. But they have a lot of lessons to teach. And you have a lot of lessons to learn as a human. And whether you learn them from Jesus Christ, Allah, or whatever, if it is making you a better person, then that's what matters at the end of the day, right? The old religion made me a better person. I was not a good one before. And I attribute who I am today to it. Thank you very much, Pater Piper, for asking me the question. I hope my explanation kind of explained it to you. And if you need any more elaboration, please feel free to ask. I'd be more than happy to provide more. Until next time, folks, Slinger out.